What is it like being a Jamaican in Sweden? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. Today in Jamaicans to the World, we talk to Andrea and Tasha, who are two Jamaicans living in Sweden. Welcome, Tasha. Welcome, Andrea. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Xavier.
Hi, Xavier. What going on? You all right? Of course.
Listen, I appreciate you guys joining us. I understand, I know it's afternoon there. What is it about a couple hours of sunlight? When does the sun go down there? What time does the sun go down there now?
Well, the thing is, it's not even so much that it go down or come up. It's like, even when it comes up, it's so cloudy that you don't get any sunlight at all. So it's very gray. So now the sun comes up around 9, because it's getting lighter now. So the sun comes up around 9-ish, and then it goes down around 3-ish.
3?
But a couple of weeks ago, it was kind of like 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So.
Wow. Well, let me get back to my line of questioning. So I'm going to start with you, Tasha. So, first of all, which part of Jamaica you come from? And then how did you end up in Sweden?
Okay, I'm not from Kingston, like most Jamaicans that live in foreign. I'm from the north side of Jamaica, beautiful Garden Parish. To be more specific, St. Anne.
St. Anne, okay.
Yes, in particular, I'm from Brownstown.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I went to the all-girls school in Brownstown, St. Hilda's High.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you end up in Sweden?
Yes. So I ended up in Sweden because I used to live in the UK first. And then after maybe Brexit happened and they withdrew from the EU, I was like, oh no, I have to go. So then obviously I was dating a Swede. So it was just automatic that obviously I have to go. So I just immediately just pack up my things and, I was like, no, bye-bye, I'm gone. And that's how I'm here in Sweden for 4 years now. Yeah.
Wow. How about you? Which part of Jamaica you're from? And how did you end up in Sweden?
Unlike Tasha, I am like most of the other Jamaicans who end up a foreign. I'm from Kingston. I'm from Kingston, and I ended up in Sweden because I met a Swedish man in London a long time ago, and then I just by chance met him again in New York. I was living in New York. I grew up in New York. So then I thought, well, that was serendipity. So we got married, and eventually we moved to France, and then we moved to Sweden. Yeah. So I've been in Sweden now about 18, 19 years, a long time.
Wow.
So you're a vet.
I'm a vet. Yes. We thought we would only stay here a few years, but then you get kind of settled and you get kind of lazy and then you can't bother. And it's like, so that's why.
Well, that is great. So let me ask you this, Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
You have a daughter.
Yes.
And so she is Swedish?
She is. She was born here 3 years ago. And yes, she's also Jamaican, of course. So with a Jamaican passport, a British passport. So she's very international, I would say. But really, you could see it, a Jamaican at heart. She's very loud, like us, of course. She's not very calm. And when she sees the Jamaican flag, she's like, Mama's country. So she's like a true Jamaican at heart already.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm going to go a little bit into the culture and the people itself. What are, and I'm going to start with you, Andrea. What are the Swedish people? Swedish. Yes, I have it right.
Yes.
are the Swedish people like? What's their nature? I mean, you know us. We are upfront. You're going to know if we like you or not.
Yes.
And so, what would you say from your experience? What are people like?
Swedish people are very reserved. It's like, like we as Jamaicans, we're gonna come up and want to make friends and want to talk to people and stuff. And Swedish people are much more reserved. They have it a little hard with the Jamaican extra. so I'm constantly slightly offending, scaring off the people at my bus stop, because when I first moved here, I used to, I go out to the bus stop and I say hello, I say good morning to everybody, and they just kind of, they start not making eye contact, they're looking everywhere. and I go up in the face like good morning. And so after a while they learn that, oh, there's a black lady coming, if you see her, just say good morning, because otherwise she's gonna so now there's even a conversation, because especially now after the pandemic, with people having lockdown and stuff, I think when people see each other, they're so happy to see somebody else. But it takes a while for a Swedish person for you to get friendly. It's always
take a while for them to warm up.
Yeah.
Tata, what's been your experience? I know you teach, and so I know you are interacting with kids and parents. What's your experience with the Swedish people?
Yeah, good question, Xavier. It's really weird, because I would definitely agree with everything Andrew has said. They're very like cold, not so quick to. They don't smile as much either, like us Jamaicans. But what I find, which is so different and alarming, is that the students at school, they are so lovely. We have so much banter. These kids, they come up and they say, Wagwan, disagree, and they are so fun. And then when I say to them, why do you guys change when you leave school? Don't talk to nobody on the bus, on the train. Why you change? I said, we just try to conform to the society, to everyone else. I just turned to them and I was like, but that is quite sad. You should just be fun and happy like what you are in school with me.
So you teach them what Agwan, because so you're teaching them a little patois?
No, but as soon as they find out you're from Jamaica, they want to learn something Jamaican.
Definitely.
All my friends, I have to teach them, things. Yeah. And then they listen to reggae music, and then they come back and they ask you questions and stuff. So yeah.
Yes.
What questions they're asking, like the lyrics or
the lyrics?
Yes, the lyrics. And I also have a girl she's in the junior school, but one day I saw her in this Bob Marley hood, and I was like, I'm Jamaican. That's where I'm from, And then she was like, I want to go to Jamaica. I want to, and she's a singer. She has this beautiful voice. And I was like, oh my gosh, you need to visit. And she was like, he's my idol. And I was like, yeah, mine too.
So along that line, you would say that the Swedish people love Jamaicans. What's their impression of Jamaican? Is it the welcome carpet? Because a lot of folks I talk to, they say, once somebody know you're Jamaican, all of a sudden, boom, it's the welcome carpet. Has that been your experience?
Yes, there's a fascination with Jamaica all over the world, and especially, it starts, like Tasha said, from Bob Marley, but then, you have Usain Bolt, and then people are into music, there's, so every time you say you're Jamaican, people just think you're very exotic and you're very fascinating.
Yeah, that's true.
You can find that people, the welcome carpet comes out. Yeah.
And another thing, Xavier, I must add is that, as Andrew said as well, the music, the culture in a town, I think, called Uppsala, which is close to Stockholm. There's a big reggae festival. Yes, also in Ireland. So they host people like Spice Coffee, and it's amazing how much they embrace us. I guess it's yeah.
And
I have a friend too. I have another friend called Jasmine, and she just brings Jamaicans together. And she was like, "Just talk. I will just talk."
I think also they're so fascinating because they're fascinated because they meet so many Jamaicans wherever they go, and they just know Jamaica is such a small country. So they're always asking, how did Jamaicans get so much influence, and how come you people all over the place?
It's true.
Because you come from this little country. It's like, so.
No,
I think they're fascinated by that.
Do not say this little country. Remember, we believe.
Yeah, big at heart.
We have a big island mentality. Yes.
Yes, very, very.
So don't say little island.
Big island mentality. Yes.
I'm gonna jump into food. Yeah. Tell us about the food. If there is one type of food or one food you say, man, if you come to Sweden, you have to try this. And I'm gonna start with you, Tasha. What would that thing be that you'd say, this is something in Sweden that you would have to try? It could even be a dessert, anything.
Oh Jesus, this is not so good, the food topic, because I don't think this is the best thing about Sweden when it comes down to food. But well, let's see, let's try and see. Maybe I would say cinnamon bun. I would say, I don't know. For me, the food is one of the,
You almost sound like you are reaching for something. And I get it. Some of my folks are, listen, man, and I'm going to get to what you miss. I'm going to get to what you miss the most. And I'm going to jump over to you.
Yeah, well, it's cinnamon bun because a lot of Swedish food is, it's okay, but it's not like completely yummy. Like you eat a lot of herring, still. So for every single special occasion, you eat herrings and potatoes, for example.
And
meatballs and things like that. So I don't know if there's any. There's a Christmas thing called Janssens frestelse, which I like, which is like a potato. It's like a potato gratin, with cheese. Well, no, not cheese, but cream and it's got like anchovies and stuff. So that one I kind of like when it's done well.
Okay.
But otherwise.
You eat to survive. But there is nothing to say, geez, this tastes goody, man. No, not really. Everything is just bland, to be honest with you. You just have it to get by.
But on the other hand, the Swedish chefs, Swedish cooks are really good because they cook. There's a lot of international fusion,
right?
Because they think their own food is so boring, so they blend it with other things. So there's really good food you can get, but it's not Swedish food. It's like a fusion kind.
Yeah,
there's lots of good stuff you can get.
I see. So then I'm going to jump into which are the Jamaican food that you miss the most, starting with you, Tasha. What's that Jamaican food that you're like, man, I crave this, I want this?
Oh gosh, I wonder what that is now. Maybe breadfruit. To be honest with you, I can get patty. I cooked curry goat yesterday. I cooked oxtail last week. It's like my sister still lives in England, so they send me all the spices, and normally they send me like care packages as well. So to be honest with you, Xavier, I'm gonna really miss anything in Jamaica. Maybe just the authentic patties and cocoa bread. Yeah, I miss the authentic snacks. Here as well, I'm not really getting much snack. But banana chips. Yeah, authentic. But I guess I can get everything I want really if I go to like Stockholm. I can get yam, banana, whatever, everything there. You see,
Yeah, I miss the authentic patties, so because I don't think you still can't really get a really good patty here. But there's you still get a lot of the food because there's Jamaican restaurants and there's Jamaican catering and like Tasha says, you can go to the stores, there's the Asian stores that you get tin aki and you can get cassava if you want to make bami. I started learning how to make bami, so you can get everything. Saltfish, everything.
Saltfish, yeah.
An interview that said they've learned to make their own bami. I'd interviewed some folks from Spain, and
Mhm.
they made their own bammy.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like patty is what you all miss.
Miss Patty.
Yes.
Please send the care packet with the patty them.
Yes, please.
All
The
right.
real patty.
Here, Tasha and Andrea wants their patties, so please send the patties to Sweden or open the patty shop there. So, are there a lot of Jamaicans there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
in your area, I guess I should say
Okay.
it depends on the area.
Okay. Not in my area, but in I know enough Jamaica. I mean, I know quite a few Jamaicans actually outspread, but yeah, there's surprisingly, when I first moved here, I thought there weren't so many, but then when you start to talk to people, then you actually start to meet quite a few. Yeah.
Tasha, in your area, I know you had mentioned a friend, Jamaican friend. You meet any other Jamaicans?
Yes, of course. She also have her own radiography company, and there's also another doctor as well that I know. So there's a few, but I wouldn't say a lot that I know. To be honest with you.
Okay. It's not.
Us Jamaicans, we tend to exaggerate. Maybe I shouldn't have said a lot, but maybe I should say a handful, or other Jamaicans.
There's other Jamaicans. There's 2 handfuls. We could mass if we wanted to.
I think there were the statistics. I'm sure it was like over 400 in the entire Sweden.
Yeah.
And this was in 2009. I live in Stockholm, and I think Andrea does as well.
I do, but most of them live in Stockholm.
Most of them do
Jamaicans live in Stockholm.
So
Gothenburg as well. Yeah.
400 took over our country,
I'm saying
400 is not a handful,
10.3 million people.
What would you say was the biggest adjustment you had to make when you moved to Sweden? And I'm going to start with you, Tasha.
For me, I think the language for me is the biggest thing, because although most people speak English, it's still for like business and everything. You need to learn Swedish to do any business, conduct anything. You need to learn the language. So for me, although I work in an international English school, it's okay. I get by. And again, most people do speak English, so it's quite easy. But like for me, the language is not so easy for me. The weather, I mean, there's a saying in Sweden that says there is nothing as bad weather, only bad clothes. So when I came to Sweden, I just bought everything, like boots, jacket, hat, everything. And now Zeb, we run outside even in the snow. So I don't really have a problem with the weather anymore. We don't really care about the weather, but the language, I would say, is my biggest obstacle at the moment.
Andrea?
Yeah. For me, it's the light, because I miss the light. Although in the summertime you have the exact opposite, where it's light almost the whole day. So that was the biggest adjustment for me. And then I came here from New York via Paris to here. So then when I first came here, I thought it was so slow. People were so slow. I'm just like, come on already, because that pace you find in New York, where people are just like this, and you come to Sweden and people are like, and it's and I'm like,
soon,
and they do this thing which still drives me crazy, which is people take the escalator and then they stop, and they get to the end, they stop. And then so the whole pile is backing up behind them, and every morning you're like, move, Can we walk here?
We'll come to the
extreme. But I've calmed down now.
I'm going to touch a little bit on the language here, and I'm coming back to you, Andrea, because I know you're in the photography world. Folks, you have to check her out. Andrea, you have to give your website in a minute, but I know you do photography. and you do a magazine. And from a language perspective, is the magazine that you do there? Tell us a little bit about the magazine, and is it in English or is it in
Swedish.
Swedish. It's called Krull Magazine, and it's on a website called krullmag.com, and it's spelled KRULLMAG. So Krull means nappy in Swedish. So it's a magazine that we started like 4 years ago, because we were sitting around, me and some friends, and talking about how there's no representation and stuff. So we decided, instead of bitching about it, we'd make our own. So we started an online magazine, and in the beginning we started off in Swedish, and it was like Swedish and English. But then a lot of people got interested in other countries, and they didn't understand Swedish, so they asked us if we could just do English. So we do mostly just English, but I still operate in. I mean, I speak Swedish, so I still operate in Swedish.
Let me turn this a little bit, and Tasha, I hate to put you on the spot.
Okay.
You just mentioned your magazine and representation. Again, I don't know the full details of the magazine, but I do hear one thing from ladies in Europe sometimes, and I see Tasha's here, braid and so on. So the question I'm going to ask is that you doing your hair, Tasha, or are you finding places to do your hair? Because that's one of the challenges I've heard from some of my Black Jamaican friends who say, listen, I can't find anybody to do my hair. And Andrea, you opened up this box when you said representation. And so that's the question I have for you, Tasha. Is it you doing your hair, or are you able to find folks to do your hair?
A good question, Xavier, that's a huge problem here. Because when I was back in England, it's like Jamaicans everywhere there to perm their hair, do a weave, whatever. Here in Sweden, there is like nothing at all. You can find people to do your braids, because there's a lot of Africans from the Gambia who are here who actually did this. But to be honest with you, there's no proper stylist that I can go to say, okay, I need a proper perm. Jamaica, everybody at Jamaica can cream hair. and you come out looking fly. No, it's not there. And you have to either wear a wig, a weave, or you have to do a braid, which is a protective style for like wintertime, like now. So at the moment, it's really hard. There's none.
Okay, Tasha, I need the hookup. I have to give you the hookup. I even know a Jamaican hairdresser. There's a Jamaican hairdresser here in Stockholm.
All right.
Good. I need to find her, because you know what, Xavier? My sister used to travel all the way from England, come and perm my hair. And then because of the lockdown, she's not been able to travel to visit me. I've been doing it for myself. Will I drop off?
Yeah,
it's better now. I have to say, when I first moved here, I had to be dragging stuff in suitcases and stuff everywhere, but it's much better now. And there's a boutique called Vison's Boutique, for example, in Stockholm, and she's been there for over 20 years, and she has all the products, African hair products and salon and whatever. So there's, I can give it a hookup.
Yeah, you got the hookup today. You got.
Even though I don't need it myself, because I just cut everything off this Christmas. I was like, that's enough. Yeah.
It's so nice, Andrea. It's so pretty.
Again, on representation. Music. Are you hearing? I think I heard y'all say there's reggae music there, but is it popular? Is it something that you will turn on? Well, I know people don't really listen to radio anymore. They listen to everything online. But if you're out and about, would you hear reggae music at different times? I mean, is that something that you hear? Any of you could jump in on this.
Yeah, you hear it all the time. I mean, I'm still shocked when I walk into a store and they're playing reggae. And I'm not talking just Bob Marley. They're playing Chronics and Coffee and whoever. When I hear Assassin, I'm like, what?
It's true though. It's true.
So yeah. So I'm going to ask you this one, Tasha. How do you keep up with your Jamaican culture, your Jamaican news while you're there? What do you do to kind of keep up? Is it social media? Is it, what do you do?
Yeah, social media, that's one. YouTube, obviously, I still have family back home. And for me, I think it's so important because even the girl that did my hair, she's from the Gambia. And she kept talking about Jamaican music, Jamaican stuff, and what's hot now and what's not. And I was like, really? No, they can't know Jamaican music and wagwan over me. So I ensure that I always know what's going on. Always, Xavier. When I moved to England, with the on top of things. If I politics, music, you have to the on top of things because I mean I don't want anyone to come and be like, this is going to Jamaica and I don't know. No, so I try to keep abreast all the time.
You, Andrea?
I have every week I have there's a family Zoom, especially since the pandemic. So then, we keep each other sort of abreast of what's going on. And then we always get news from Jamaica. I still have family in Jamaica, so I always get news from there. And, my daughter's into music, so she's always listening to whatever is coming up and stuff. So yeah, I always try to keep on top of it.
All right. Winding things down. If I was to visit Sweden or anyone wants coming to visit Sweden, what's the one place, thing, or experience you would say, listen, if you come here, you have to go see this? It could be anything from as simple as, listen, the sunrise, even though there's not a lot of sun, the sunrise at this place is awesome, or this particular restaurant or whatever. Tell me, what is that one thing you'd say, hey, you want to experience this when you come to Sweden? I'm going to start with the vet. And
yeah, well, there's one thing I still want to experience like really well. I experienced it a little bit, which is like the Northern Lights, like Aurora Borealis. Because I've seen it when it's come down to Stockholm, but then it's like there's so much like light pollution from the city that I'm still planning to go north and just see the Northern Lights. So I'd recommend that.
Okay. Tasha, you have anything that I gave you the break. I gave you the little.
Thanks. I needed that.
And listen, if you don't have anything, that's fine. Also, it could be anything. Like, listen, the some people have said the club life at this place, or this, or the nightlife here, or whatever. Anything that you liked, anything you experienced. You're not doing it from a perspective.
Yeah, there's so many though. There's so many. Sweden is like awesome, amazing. To be honest with you, there's the Abba Museum. I love the Abba Museum because it was so interactive and it was just so much fun. Also, the Vasa Museum, that big ship that sank in the 17th century, I think it was. It's still there. You can go and see that ship in real life. There's just so many things. Skansen, which I think is one of the oldest open air museums in the world. Yeah. So there's just so many things to see. The old town.
The museums here are really good. Actually, I'm biased because I work in a museum, but the museums are really good here.
Yeah, the Royal Museum, and it's free. Oh my gosh, I love the museums here. So that's for me. Also, the experiences like the crayfish parties or midsummer. I think those things are absolutely amazing as well. The lakes, the archipelago. So many tiny islands. I think one of the biggest in the world.
You're thinking through this, and you have come up with like all of this stuff.
She can write a tourist guide.
Because I've visited these things too, Xavier. So I mean, when you're ready, come in.
All right. Yeah, we're definitely coming in. So my last and final question is this one. You land in Jamaica, get off the plane. What is the first thing you are doing? It could be food. It could be going in the beach. It could be, what is the first thing you're doing? I start with you, Andrea.
Usually if I land in Montego Bay, I go straight to Scotchies.
No.
I don't know if I can mention names, but otherwise I go to Doctor's Cave Beach direct.
Direct. All right.
It's like, watch my suitcase.
Tasha, what about you?
Me, the first thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing a piece of cane and I'm going straight to Brownstone on my mother's veranda where she's going to have a big bowl of stew peas with pork. And that's what I'm having. First thing.
So, ladies, I want to thank you both for telling us and telling our viewers your story about Sweden and your experience there. Any closing thoughts before you have to teach me how to say bye in Swedish and in the most informal way? So you're going to give me your closing thoughts first, and then you're going to teach me how to say bye.
Closing thoughts. I don't know. Just, I always encourage people to travel, see the world. I think you become a better person when you see the world. You become more tolerant, you become more open, you become more accepting. You kind of learn to know yourself as well, because you suddenly you're in a position where maybe you don't know everything now, so it makes you humble. So I say, yeah, go travel the world like the rest of you Jamaican co-ops them.
That's good words of advice. Tasha?
For me, I would say, from a Jamaican perspective, speaking to other Jamaicans, I would say that really, really just visit Scandinavia. It doesn't even have to be Sweden. It could be Norway. It could be Finland. These countries, they're doing something right. They're taking care of their people. There's just a better quality of life here. And I would say, as Jamaicans, nobody look at to America, Canada, and those places. You need to be in Scandinavia. These are the countries you need to be visiting and like living. It's awesome.
Great word of advice. Love it. So now I don't know who is gonna start, but
it's easy. It's easy. It's the easiest ones. It's not like German or anything.
All right. How do you say bye-bye?
Hey do.
Hedua.
Yeah.
Hey do.
My accent sounds good. Hedua.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
So ladies, thanks again and Hedua.
Yeah.
Hey
do.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.